From the moment I was born, my father became the center of my world. In his eyes, I could see an endless well of love and protection. He was not just a father in the traditional sense, he was my guide, my teacher, my protector, and my biggest supporter. Over the years, I came to realize that my father was not only a beacon of love, but also a symbol of strength, both in ways visible and unseen. As a child, I didn't fully comprehend the depth of his strength. He didn't need to speak much to convey his love for me. His actions spoke volumes. I remember waking up early every morning to the sound of my father getting ready for work. He worked long hours, sometimes leaving before the sun had even risen and returning late at night. His days were filled with physical and mental challenges, yet he never showed signs of weariness. In the few moments he was home, he made sure to give his full attention to us, ensuring that we felt loved and cared for. One of my earliest memories of my father's strength came when I was around 7 years old. My younger brother and I were playing outside when I fell off my bike and scraped my knee badly. I remember crying in pain, but what I remember most clearly was the way my father rushed to me, his face filled with concern and determination. Without hesitation, he picked me up, carried me inside, and gently cleaned my wound. But more than just caring for my scraped knee, he wrapped me in his arms and told me, "Pain is a part of life, but it doesn't last forever. What lasts is the strength we build from it." At that moment, his words became more than just comfort. They were a lesson I would carry with me for the rest of my life. My father's strength wasn't just physical, it was emotional, spiritual, and rooted in his unwavering belief in resilience. As I grew older, I began to understand just how much my father sacrificed for our family. He worked hard to provide for us, often taking on extra work to make ends meet. There were times when I noticed the exhaustion in his eyes, or when he would come home with his hands calloused from a long day's work. Yet, despite the tiredness in his voice and the weariness in his steps, he never once complained. Instead, he carried on with quiet dignity, never once letting us feel the weight of the burdens he bore. My father's love was unconditional. It wasn't something that could be measured or defined by grand gestures. It was in the small things he did every day, the way he made sure there was always a hot meal waiting for us, the way he checked in on us to see how we were feeling, and the way he always made time to listen to us, no matter how busy he was. When I was upset, he never judged me. Instead, he offered a quiet strength, reassuring me that no problem was too big to solve, as long as we faced it together. He taught me that love didn't need to be shouted or demonstrated with material gifts. Love was in the presence of someone who was always there when you needed them most. There were also moments in my life when I felt lost, times when I felt as if the world was too overwhelming and I wasn't sure where I was headed. During these moments, my father was my guiding light. I remember when I was a teenager and struggled with the pressures of school and growing up. I began to doubt my abilities and questioned if I was enough. My father noticed a change in me, and one evening, he sat me down on the porch, looking up at the stars. "You don't need to have all the answers right now," he said gently, his voice calm and steady. "What matters is that you keep going. Even when things are tough, you are stronger than you know." I looked at him, unsure of how to respond, but his words carried such weight. They weren't just words, they were a promise that, no matter how difficult life got, I would always have his strength and love to rely on. In that moment, I understood that my father wasn't just guiding me through the challenges of my youth, he was teaching me how to be strong, how to love, and how to never give up. As I entered adulthood, I started to see more clearly the sacrifices my father had made for our family. I realized that every difficult decision he had ever made, every moment he had worked tirelessly, was done out of love. My father didn't just work to provide for us financially, he worked to ensure we had the emotional, intellectual, and moral support we needed to thrive. His sacrifices were often unseen, unnoticed by the world around him, but they never went unnoticed by me. One of the most important lessons I learned from my father was how to stay calm and collected in the face of adversity. I remember during a particularly difficult time when we faced financial struggles as a family. Things were tight, and there was a lot of stress in the air. Yet, my father never showed his worries outwardly. He would sit with us at the dinner table, quietly reassuring us that everything would be okay. His quiet confidence and his ability to remain calm in the midst of chaos gave us all a sense of peace. It was in those moments that I saw true strength, the ability to keep moving forward, to keep loving, even when the world felt uncertain. My father's love was the constant thread that held our family together. He didn't need to be a superhero or a larger-than-life figure. He was simply my father, and that was enough. His love and strength were not bound by time or circumstance. Whether he was celebrating our successes or comforting us in our failures, he was always there, unwavering and constant. Now that I am an adult, with my own responsibilities and challenges, I often find myself thinking back to the lessons my father taught me. His strength, his resilience, and his ability to love without condition have shaped me into the person I am today. I strive to live by the values he instilled in me, to be strong in the face of adversity, to love unconditionally, and to always be there for the people I care about. Though I am no longer a child, I still look to my father for guidance. He remains my beacon of love and strength, and I know that no matter where life takes me, I will always carry his lessons in my heart. His love has been the foundation of my life, and his strength will continue to guide me as I navigate the journey ahead. My father is, without a doubt, the greatest source of inspiration in my life. He is a living example of how true strength lies not in physical power, but in love, resilience, and the ability to lift others up when they need it the most. And for that, I will be forever grateful.